Good day everyone and welcome back to the studio. We're in the middle of turning this wax bison into bronze. We got a little bit of cleanup to do, so let's get to it. There's a few parting lines and casting flaws that need to be blended in. Anything that you can see left in the wax, you'll be able to see in the metal when it's cast. So it's important to take the time to get it blended in so you're going to be satisfied with how it looks when it's bronze. Now there's a hole where I had the wax come in. I think I'm going to leave that open so I can fill it full of investment. So this will end up as a hollow cast. I'll trim off any excess wax on the hooves and attach it to a wax base that I made a little earlier. So I put it on a wax base because hopefully that makes it look a little bit better than welding it to the bronze. Bison standing on wind-blown snow. Think that looks like wind-blown snow? That's the idea. I use a piece of soft wax to hold up the sprue, but it'll also act as a pouring funnel. More sprues are fused to the bottom of the base, and that'll act as more channels for the metal to flow into the piece. I attached a small sprue to the nose, hoping that it would push any air bubbles away from the face, so I got a nice clean cast. I use these small silk pins as chaplets. They're inserted into the body and that'll hold the inner core of investment in place as the wax melts away. So most of the metal is going to be going in through the base, which I don't love. Metal will come through the bottom here, pushing through the face, up through the secondary port, and most of it's going to go in through the legs. I have a little roundabout here to get into the main body, and again through the legs there. This is pretty thin, and I'm just hoping I get enough metal in there quickly enough that it doesn't solidify on me and leave a void. The horns aren't vented all the way, they're vented just enough to get air out of the way of the horn so it can fill with metal. So it's about 10 to 1, 212. I'll need just over 2,000 grams of metal. The investment is weighed out, as is the water, and it's all mixed up. Pour it in, and then put in the vacuum chamber to suck out any air bubbles. I put it in the steamer to remove the bulk of the wax, and once that's gone, then I'll put it in the kiln for the final burnout. Once the metal has cooled down slightly, then I'll bring it to the bucket of water and quench it to remove all the investment. Look at that! That looks so cool. It looks really good. The backside we have some casting flaws. I'm not sure why. We'll see if we can metal chase that away. Probably some welding and some grinding. But overall I think this is going to turn out. Let's clean it up. So it cleaned up well, and I used a little scraper tool to try to scrape all the investment from inside out. So this is hollow now. Found another flaw, back up in between the legs. The wax was too thin, so there's a hole there. But unless you're looking right up the rectum, you're never going to see it. Now what I need to do is where I had this hole that allowed the investment to get inside, I need to take my welder and just lay beads up until I close that in. So it's weld time. You can see the texture, we'll have to repair that. It's a casting flaw right there in the tail that I'm going to try to fill in. That's risky. Knew I should have left it alone. The tail just melted right away. Luckily, I was able to bend the tail back into place and give it another try. So where we had the hole, we now have that full of metal. It looks like a tumor now, but
it's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
But we'll blend it all in. On the other side, where it didn't cast properly, I filled that in, and we'll blend all that away as well. These cutoff wheels for the Dremel are the fastest way I know to remove metal, as long as you have a steady hand and don't slip and cut into anything important. I'll switch to a diamond burr to help me refine the contours and take away some of the heavier scratches. So that's looking a lot better. The hindquarters is filled in and buffed out. It's looking good. The hole is patched up and blended in. Horns are filed down. All the little bubbles and points. So now I'm going to go over the whole thing with a sandblaster, and that'll really highlight any detail that I missed. We'll see what it looks like then. It looked pretty good, but there were a few points that needed a little refining with some hand sanding. Making bronze sculptures is definitely not easy, but I think we've got a success. It means a lot that you guys come and watch. Please let me know what you think, what you'd like to see me make next, and come on back. for some more bronze casting, or sculpting, or mold making. There's a lot to this craft. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.